I'm going to ask Christina, Professor Hughes, about an issue that's very near and dear to my heart, and that is that our family is blessed to have a 22-year-old son with autism spectrum disorder. And our son, Mark, who just graduated from high school recently, is a delightful young man, but he does have some behavioral issues which fortunately are being improved. His speech is limited, and he has functional challenges, but he also has a certain very productive side. And it has struck me that working on this issue over a number of years, that individuals with all forms of intellectual challenges and developmental disabilities face an uphill climb, particularly as they transition from a school environment out into the community. And I would like and be very grateful for any thoughts and ideas that Professor Hughes has on the issue of equity with regards to individuals with autism and other forms of intellectual and physical disabilities.
Okay. I mean, I think this is absolutely the case because in the British system, there have been changes in the last few years around funding and finance for disabled students, which are impacting on universities or will potentially impact on universities. As universities strive to do more and more through both providing specialist facilities or specialist support around disabled students. I've been involved in one project which is actually with a local college for disabled students called Hereward College, and it's about a mile from the Warwick campus. And the aim of that project was to open up STEM areas to a range of young people in the Coventry and Warwickshire
And
region.
STEM, science,
technology, engineering, maths.
Math, yes.
So we put someone from Hereward College in touch with colleagues in our Warwick Manufacturing Group and our Department of Computer Science, because he came to see me with an incredibly deep passion about the young people he was working with. And these are young adults between the ages of 16 and 30 who go to this college as the sort of
Is it related to the project that Warwick does with the Warwick Academy for Young Engineers, or is it?
No,
Okay,
it's
so that's
not.
a separate.
It's a slightly separate. That's slightly separate. The chap from Hereward College came to talk to me about the importance of drawing on these young people's own expertise of their own disability. And so, for example, he'd say, they're young people, they're engaged in technologies, they want things that are bespoke for them, that are relevant. And what they get from the National Health Service, for example, is a grotty wheelchair or a white stick, and it's just discarded. So he wanted to get us to think with him around how we could personalise.
So there's this disconnect between what's offered and what's really needed.
Yes,
Is
so they get given this stuff and don't use it.
Right.
So how can we personalise the learning experience and enable these students to learn something of value, but also improve their lives? So we had what's called the Assistive Technologies project, and we lent the college a 3D printer. And we funded a project manager who worked in the college, and the role was to teach these young people CAD/CAM design technology and 3D printing technology.
I'm sorry, what was the first thing that you said?
CAD. Computer-aided design.
Oh, okay. Yes. Sorry, for those of us who are technically challenged, no, that's
so
great.
computer-aided design and 3D printing. And so, and to ask these young people to think of aspects of their disability aids or their disability assistive technologies that they wanted to do adaptations to. And I'll just give you a couple of examples because this has been the most phenomenal project. In fact, we've extended it now to schools within Coventry and Warwickshire area. So what I didn't know is that all wheelchairs are different. So a cup holder won't necessarily fit the arm of a wheelchair. It might fit that
So
one.
this
won't
is where
fit
a
this
3D
one.
printer might be?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
One young man I met who had cerebral palsy, of course he's into his tech and he's got his phone in his hand, but he's got no mobility in his other arm and he's in a wheelchair. So to use the phone he has to use a stylus
Yes.
to do the numbers or the letters, and the stylus was rubbing his mouth. So he was taught how to do the designer and then printed a bespoke mouthpiece
Wow.
that would help
Wow.
him.
That's amazing.
The other one that comes to mind is a blind student who was always worried that his clothes didn't match. And so how did he know what he looked like every day? And so and all of these are the most simplest of things really for us. He designed some buttons that were sewn into his clothes that were colour coded,
Wow.
so he could
Wow.
feel
So he could
and
feel and
know
relate them.
that he was dressed
Wow.
appropriately. So tiny differences for us
Yes.
make huge,
Wow.
enormous differences for these young people. Absolutely
Wow.
tremendous. So
That's very inspiring,
Yeah.
and wow, as a parent of a child who faces significant challenges, what you just told me
Yes.
really brings tremendous
Yeah.
hope and encouragement.
Absolutely.
So thank you so very
No,
much
thank
for your
you.
leadership and for sharing your
Thank you.
experiences with us.
Thanks a lot.
It's a pleasure and privilege. Lou Vismar for University Development Trust. Thank you all.